All right, there's no going back. I just hit go live. I actually have an audience for this show. Our studio producer, Chelsea, is right to my left right now. Whether she will come on here and actually debut herself is a totally different story. I'm going to peer pressure that one. But before we get there, let me go right here. It's the intro. Oh, wait, nope. Now there's the intro.
Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
All right. I'm going to have to get used to that new theme music. First ever meeting between the Sharks and Seattle Kraken. It's not going to be one you'll want to remember for San Jose. Not the worst game they've played, not the, effort was missing. It just frustrating. There were chances to get on the scoreboard. There was a chance to grab a lead. Instead, the door is open for Seattle about 40 minutes of this game. And then in the third period, who would have thought 4 goals in total? An empty netter to go with Seattle's other 2. They get 3. And the Sharks get 1 when they pull James Reimer. And good for Logan Couture, his first goal in a couple of games. But in the bigger picture, the captain's just 3rd goal across the last 30 days. So tough to lose 3-1 to anybody. But tough to lose especially to the 9, now 10-win Seattle Kraken in their first ever head-to-head meeting. I'm so distracted right now. Can you tell? Can you tell? Do you should I make Chelsea could you at least show your face? Can you she says she's going to take the mask and completely cover herself. Anyway, so I do have an audience and I am a bit nervous all of a sudden. Usually when I do this, I'm in this room all by myself and whatever I say, I pretend nobody's listening, even though you are. But now there's a human being actually listening to my words. Anyway, we'll get into some questions and comments later. And I also want to talk about the Olympic situation. Things have changed drastically in the last week, but especially in the last couple days. It went from looking all systems go. And you realize to even get to this point, there was the whole conversation between players and the league and the CBA, and all this had to be ironed out just to get to this point where, hey, it was a thumbs up, and now COVID and protocols and outbreaks with different teams is all setting this back another step. But that kind of reminds people of life at this point. You plan for something, and then things change with days or weeks to go. That tournament's supposed to be from the 3rd to the 20th of February, so there still is some time to figure things out and maybe more changes for the positive. It's hard to think about that right now or suggest it that way, but you never know. So a rivalry game for the Sharks. I don't know about that. I mean, the Kraken are new. Their whole story is new. If you're just saying it's a West Coast thing, well, yeah, like Vancouver and even LA and Anaheim, I mean, they're all in that same position too. I think eventually over the years, you could see this matchup as a rivalry, especially if the Kraken get good in a couple years, especially if the Sharks turn it around like they're working on right now. But entering tonight, I mean, the Sharks had just won 2 of 3, trying to build some momentum on this homestand, and going up against a Kraken group that had lost 3 games in a row. And it's funny, you look at their wins. They've actually beat some pretty good teams this year. They beat Carolina. They beat Florida. Who else, Chelsea? They beat some quality opponents to the extent that it shouldn't be that surprising that they could put up a win tonight. Oh, Minnesota, your former team. See, we're going to eventually dive into Chelsea's whole history here. Yeah, I know you could hear that. From Minnesota, worked in TV there, worked in TV with the Coyotes. So, we're not used to having a Sharks team where it's like, are they going to make the playoffs this year? Chelsea knows exactly what it's like to have these seasons year after year. So tonight's game, let's just go period by period. You know what? Maybe since I have the sound effect, why not just use it? Number one point of tonight, what a crazy first 20 minutes. And by that, 15 minutes in a row without a whistle. I saw some people doing research on Twitter and social media to suggest that might have been the longest gameplay of an NHL contest without a whistle in league history. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's why I didn't say it on TV. It's okay if I'm wrong here on YouTube. I can't be wrong on TV. But there was a certain like nonstop flow of that game. It's just unfortunate, but there was not a lot going on. The Sharks got outshot 11-8. There were a total of 7 faceoffs entirely in that first 20 minutes. It was relatively dry. Curtis said it best during our intermission. I know that's quite an admission for me. The period actually goes to Seattle, even though it's scoreless and the Sharks had a couple chances, not as many. If you're the road team, that's a great road period. Now, that's where they edged into this game. Felt like the second period, when Larson robbed Nieto, that was a huge turning point. And the fact that the Sharks could not get on the board in the second period, that might have been where this entire night hinged. You just held the door open too long for Seattle, and there they go. The sting of it, I'll tell you what, is their first goal. Ryan Donato with the Sharks, wait a second. Let me.
There
you go.
2.
Ryan Donato with the Sharks, I thought had all the promise of being a good player, being around for a couple years. He was a goal scorer with Minnesota prior to this, and like you could see there might be some next steps he would take in San Jose. Now, last year, total atypical season. Said he wanted to work on defense. That maybe was an area that the Sharks disliked in his game. Nonetheless, of all the players that have come and gone over the years, I found it not surprising that Donato only lasted one short season, but I kind of did. I mean, I thought he would be around when they acquired him. I thought he'd be around a lot longer. Instead, he's now in Seattle, 4 goals in his last 8 games, a total of 6 on the season. And are you kidding me? Jonas Donskoy to Ryan Donato for their first goal. And how about this? Seattle starting that former Sharks line, which also included Alex True out there on the opening draw. I mean, is that a message? Is that a statement? Is that a tribute? I don't know. All the above. You just hate to see when it's that line capitalizing on the first goal, which kind of felt like it was a backbreaker at that point because it was the only goal 46 minutes and 23 seconds in. And then Brandon Tanev scoring his 9th goal. The Morgan Geekie drive was the most impressive part of that play. Tanev was out in front trailing and, I'm not saying that was a slam dunk either, but the setup was equally impressive to the actual goal scoring itself. So all of a sudden you went from no score at all through 40, and now with about 5 and change to play, now you're trailing 2-0. That second goal, a huge gut punch, because the Sharks still had 14 minutes to try and equalize this game at 1 after the Donato goal. Bob Bugner said afterwards, couldn't do it. That was that frustration right there. And like I said at the top of this stream, frustration's probably the biggest word tonight. A loss, not just a 3-1 loss, who you lost it to, the scoring of the game, the non-scoring of the game, and the fact that if you just got one earlier, that might have set a tone that might have put Seattle down and or away for good. Going back to Logan's goal, kind of a stray puck that found him. 9th goal on the season. And as I mentioned, Logan has kind of cooled off from mid-November to mid-December. And it's not for a lack of effort or opportunity. For example, tonight, he led the team with 7 shots on goal. Timo was right behind him at 5. But pucks are finding Logan. Tonight, he was able to find the 4x6. But, at some point, the scoring, you hope, comes from him and the Hurdle line, or his line and the Hurdle's line at the same time. Randy Hahn and Brett Hedican made a tremendous observation in the pregame show. And you know what, Chelsea, as you watch this show, because you're my audience of one, I realized I got this cool new second camera and I've barely even used it now. It's way better than the old GoPro resolution. Now I've got like a full clean image. Maybe I'll just talk to this camera for a while as you continue to hide off camera here. You've never been on TV before? Well, this isn't TV, but no. You've never been on YouTube before? Oh, boy. Where was I at here? Oh, I was talking about the observation is this. During the season, you've had Logan's line be productive, and then you've had Tomas Hertl's line be productive. Overall, I mean, you've had a top-heavy scoring effort from the top 6 forwards. I still think, any team would love to get more from their 3rd and 4th line in terms of point production. But like a lot of teams in this league, it's your top 2 lines. But the Sharks have yet to have the Hurdle line and the Couture line going at the same time. We've seen flashes of both, just not simultaneously. I think that would be a breakthrough to go with this team's usual, stellar defense. And 3-1 is going to be misleading tonight. You had an empty netter in there. Realistically, it was 2-1, and quite honestly, it was 0-0 most of the night that James Reimer was pitching a shutout. And Chris Drieger was that close to also pitching a shutout tonight. But I think, you want that consistency between lines. You'd love to get it at the same time, something the Sharks have not seen at all. And then two other points here to make. Ooh, sound effect time. This one of the unfortunate variety.
Number 3.
Kevin Labanc, now all of a sudden out for weeks. He's on a week-to-week basis, not a day-to-day basis. And to go along with Rudolph Balcers, I understand, maybe these aren't the prominent names of the San Jose Sharks, but these are players that you count on to be on a power play, or in Balcers' case, to be on that Hurdle line. In sequences where this team's not scoring, those are guys you would like to have out there. In fact, in Labanc's case, kind of a frustrating season to begin with. First couple really good games, eventually struck by COVID, never could really regain the same kind of statement start he had. Something that Carlson has continued to do and Timo Meier have continued. Kevin Labanc's kind of in that same conversation of a player who wanted to bounce back from last season, wanted to take steps forward, thought he was about to do it, then wasn't doing it. In fact, he was a healthy scratch a couple games ago. And then today, we find out that he's going to be out a significant portion of time. We don't know the extent. I saw surgery floated out there. I mean, that's never good. It kind of details the severity of this, but that's going to be critical moving on. The Sharks are down a couple regulars. You obviously don't want to get too thin early on here because it's a long season. All right. I've rambled on long enough. I've officially rambled on 14 minutes. That's too long. At some point, Chelsea's going to leave, either because of disgust or because her BART train will be ready to go. All right, so let's just dive right into the comments here. Give me a second to load those up. Boom, and we begin in Japan. Andrew Yoshida is one of my favorites because I don't know how this timing works. I know it's already tomorrow where you're at. So happy Wednesday afternoon to you. One of the games you'd want to win on paper, but the Kraken did very good defensively. The Sharks lost many plays on the boards. Oh, and high from 3 p.m. on December 15th. Puck luck was no joke tonight. Both goalies played great, but a tough loss in a winnable division game. And there you go with that too, right? Sharks are going to get some more division games here. All of a sudden, playing the Kraken well, playing the Canucks well. This is way more important than seeing the Devils or the Wild or Chicago. These are division games and division teams. Now let's keep going through this here. Tony, Sea Monsters smother Sharks tonight. Well, you're making you should have titled this video for me. Or maybe I'll change it to that. Bugner must make the Sharks practice shooting and hitting the net more. 1 2-minute penalty all game. Minimalistic refereeing. Well, I mean, granted, I'd rather see that than the Sharks, and it favored the Sharks. Like, they were on the power play. I'd rather see that than Seattle got 3 power plays and the Sharks got none, because we've also seen that recently a few times. As far as missing the net, I mean, that's been documented, the amount of Sharks missed shots this season. In fact, David, you were talking about this too. Have to hit the net on shots. Anyone know how many attempts missed the net? Yes, actually. Can you give me a second? Can you just Nope. See, it's the pressure of somebody being in here. So let me put on this elevator music. I'll be right back. I'm looking at it. I know you can't hear this, but I'm playing elevator music right now, and it's really fascinating. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. There we go. Now we're on the NHL's media site. How many shots did the Sharks miss tonight? I don't even know, but I'll say this. Tonight, missed shots to me hurt less than like Matt Nieto's chance where Adam Larson on the goal line got a stick blade on it. All right. enough of this. I mean, it's this really good elevator music, but I've had enough of it. Okay, go away, soundboard. All right, missed shots. Sharks took a total of 34 on net. 13 blocked, only 7 tonight. See, and I know people were talking about that, but to me, it didn't necessarily feel like tonight that was one of the egregious factors. You agree? You've seen more missed shots?
Yeah, from this team.
How about Šimek playing great, hitting everything in sight? Yeah, I think that was, and then the first goal against goes off his skate. Yeah, that's Alex. That's actually a really great observation. Did he have 5 or 6 hits? I think in the first period alone.
His last 2 games have been pretty good too.
Šimek, yeah. See, Chelsea, you need a micro. Okay, if you don't want to, okay.
Sorry.
Here, you know what? Grab this. If you don't want to come on, here, hang on a second. This is going to take me a second. If she's not going to be on, she's at least going to, okay, go
I'm
talking to
just going to give some voiceover commentary.
Perfect. Oh, wait, whoops. Hang on a second. I did not mean to do that. All right. So wait, talking to that thing, let's make sure it works here.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So you
5.
do mic checks like such a TV person.
Sorry.
Well, no,
I've only worked in TV, I was going to say like 10 years, but that's not that long.
we're both TV people. That was not a knock. All right. Let's see if we can go to our more of our comments here. Oh, Maddie is a, oops, how do I do this here? Maddie is a regular on the program. Maddie says, tips hat sadly. Good evening. Right?
Yes.
That's a fitting comment. Like that's a mood right there.
I was like, that's how I feel.
Andrew missed the first period. Did I miss something fun or interesting? Chelsea, your answer.
No.
Like
Nothing.
you literally missed nothing in the first period.
I was like that meme of the guy poking with a stick being like, do something.
Well, we were like, even after 40 minutes, it felt like a 1 goal. It was going to be a 1-0 final score. I'm actually surprised that it was 3-1. If I could go back second intermission and tell somebody that it was going to be a 3-1 game, that would not have been my prediction. It's so sad that the first goal scorers were former Sharks. At least it was the line with former Sharks on it. Would you rather have them? I would rather have them not score. I mean,
Same.
I like Donato. I really like Donsko. I didn't get to know Alex True that much. I like all 3 of them, but I just didn't want that.
Yeah.
You know, like
They were salty. That's why it happened.
sometimes,
That's what happens.
sometimes it is that, you know, the old money on the board thing. Poor Simmer. Hope he forgave himself. He was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. That's so amazing to me how quick that happens. You're trying to defend somebody, and then all of a sudden, off your skate in the back of your own net. I can't say. I mean, it's never happened to me because, well, usually I don't play defense. That's the real reason why. Like I'm cherry picking.
I was going to say, at least you admit it.
I'm at our own blue line, tapping the stick, like, "Hey, I'm out here. Give me the puck." Whoa!
Sorry.
She dropped. We have a phone.
Drop my phone.
We have a phone casualty over there.
It's okay. Company pays for it, right? We're good.
Welcome to NBC, by the way. Oilers are the 4th straight Canadian team to have a fan toss a jersey on the ice. Safe to say us Canadians take hockey too seriously. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
So apparently in the Oilers game.
I was producing a post-game show.
Yeah. And I think like Canucks fans did this before the coaching change. That's like the new hot thing to do in Canada. I mean, it's not new. It's the trendy thing to do all of a sudden again is to throw your team's jersey when they stink out on the ice. I don't know. I think it's a bad look.
Yeah.
But fans are drinking. Fans are emotional. I get it. I'm not terribly surprised. The tank came alive with those last 5 minutes in the third, especially with that rush towards the open net. Yeah. Hurdle, right? Had the bouncing puck. And that's how close tonight was, right? Like, let's say Nieto buries it earlier, and let's say Hurdle buries. Well, they wouldn't have the extra attacker out there, but either one of those two things, and it's a tie game. And maybe we're talking about a win in overtime, and they get their 2 points that way. Instead, they get no points. Yeah, on Seattle's side, it was Tomas Hurdle. Pablo, man, it was a tough loss. Chase was at the game tonight. First time you've been to a game where the Sharks lost. So I guess Chase is not the good luck charm.
I was going to say, we need to change something now.
Given the struggles with scoring, do I see the Sharks biting the bullet and getting Kane back playing with the big club?
Oof.
See, I think, you know, the team made it pretty clear that we're not doing this as a training mission. We're not doing this as an evaluation thing. We're doing this kind of as a showcase and as a service to Evander so that he can start playing again. I know, though, you know, the longer the season goes, and every time the Sharks go through scoring issues or, you know, could they add more? Like, this is inevitably going to be brought up. I don't think the team will ever address it. I don't think they'll ever respond to it. That's just their strategy.
It's been their strategy since the beginning.
Well, I think they didn't know what they were going to do for the longest time. And now they know what they're going to do, but they're not, I don't think they want to be talked into changing something else. Like, they made their decision. It's pretty clear what their decision is, right? We'll see. So to answer your question, Randy, as of tonight, December 14th, I thought it was the 13th all day. What? I don't even know.
No, it's the 14th.
I don't even know what day it is. I think I said.
And it's Tuesday, just so you know.
Did I say the wrong day earlier?
No, I have no idea. Just making sure.
I think I said the wrong day earlier on something, and I think I said the 13th. And Chase has been to 5 games, and he was 5-0 before that. Watching Carlson play, it's great to see him healthy. I totally agree. It's one of those things, and I couldn't believe this. I said this on the live stream the other night. Erik Karlsson's 8 goals are the most he's ever had as a Shark. Through, I don't want to say full seasons, but he was injured a couple different times. But it's hard to believe that he's already got 8. 20 is easily within reach for him at this pace. So knock on wood and everything else. Everybody wants to talk about Kane. Any insider info about trade rumors? No. Elevator music is what we're here for. That goes to show you how far behind on the chat I get. Tough loss. Now an hour and a half drive home. Chase, you must live somewhere in the North Bay, I would imagine.
Ooh.
Nice ramble, Brody. I don't even know when you said that, but I did that a lot already. Felix, by the way. Shout out to Felix. Felix is looking for helpers on a special project. Discord. Do you know what a Discord server is?
No.
You don't?
No.
Wow.
Am I too young for that?
I was going to say, you're younger than me. You're supposed to know that.
Oh, shit. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just swore on YouTube.
It's okay. We're still monetized. We're still good. There's a video actually about why I don't swear on YouTube. Now, have you ever heard me curse in real life?
No.
Oh, what?
I curse enough for both of us, so it's fine.
You've never. Yeah, that's not a true answer. You've definitely heard that.
I probably have, and
probably have.
I guess I don't see, like, when you curse, it just glosses right over.
So
it's just a sentence enhancer. Like, I just don't even notice.
All right. I forget what we were even talking about.
Discord.
Oh, Discord. Yeah. So there might be a Discord server for Old Brazil, so I can share stuff with people. People can chat. I've just learned in the last week what Discord actually is. I like it. So sorry, Felix. I hope I'm not like blowing the cover off this thing, but never mind if I'm not supposed to talk about
Googling Discord.
Yeah, just we're gonna get it rolling here. That's a great point. Does anyone actually hear music in elevators? The only time I ever heard music in an elevator was at the Legoland Hotel. Ooh, you fancy. We're a power duo now. Nice to get some TV talent on here. Well, I mean, David, clearly Chelsea, anything she says is better than everything Curtis says. So there's no surprise.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Donskoy gave you your first puck, so he's got a special place in your heart. He's the Don Father. Brody didn't know what Discord was 2 weeks ago. Now he's acting like he's been on it since forever. See, people aren't afraid to call me out right here.
Is this an app? What are this?
Discord, it's like Slack, I think.
Oh, yeah. We use Slack a lot here.
Here's a question from Jessica.
I don't like to be bothered. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, some of us don't like Slack on here. Some of us have not signed up for our own Slack at work. Random question from Jessica, but if you were playing with the Sharks this season, about how many goals do you think you'd get? Here, I've got sound effects for this. I don't know why we're... Oh, actually, I can't do it now, but it's the buzzer, 0? Come on. I do... You've never seen my fantasy camp goal, though. Yeah, I'll play that for you at some point. Yeah, it's on right. YouTube. I'll just send you the link, so it could be one more view. That's pathetic. It's really pathetic.
It's okay. I watch most of your crap anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, at least you get paid for most of that.
No, I do it on my own time.
Wait a second. I think I heard you curse once. I could be wrong, but I was hella little back in the 90s, LOL. Well, I was barely on TV in the 90s. The early 2000s, maybe. It's okay.
I was going to say I was young in the 90s.
Okay, here we go with the serious conversation of the night. Matthew checking in, asking what is going on with the Winter Olympic Games. NHL players are still going to Beijing or not, or better to stay home and enjoy the break. So here's how we have it now. In the last, at this point, probably 44 hours, the NHL has added 23 players to the COVID protocol list. I think some additional coaches tonight. It is quickly multiplying within the league. They have more than 30 players right now on the COVID protocol list, which is of enough concern itself, right? For the league to sustain, to keep going, to not have to reschedule too many games to the point that they can't eventually make up for this. So that is a level of concern. But the bigger thing is, how do you do this and mix in the Olympics, which are supposed to start February 3rd through the 20th? And by the way, if you're the Sharks, I mean, Timo Meier's name's out there. Erik Karlsson's name's out there for Sweden and Switzerland for Timo and Tomas Hertl for the Czech Republic. And I don't know statuses. I don't know their decisions. I mean, hard to probably say no if you're invited. But now what we do know from Beijing specifically is that if you test positive while you're over there, it's not just a 1 week, 10-day, 14-day quarantine like we've seen commonly in the NHL. It's anywhere from 21 days to 5 weeks, 3 weeks to 5 weeks of quarantine in China, meaning that, hypothetically, and the tournament's only 17 total days. If you were to get sick near the end of the tournament, you are in deep trouble. You can't leave the country. You can't come back to North America. Now you're putting the NHL team that you're with in jeopardy, in trouble. And look, these are all the very best players from across the league getting to go over there. And that brings up what I was saying before. The frustrating part is it took so much back and forth negotiation, conversation to actually get the players kind of approved to be in this situation. Now they're at this juncture where, COVID and the fear of testing positive and the unknown of even how the situation is going to be in the next 6 weeks, it casts a huge doubt over all this. Whereas I think 6 weeks ago, we would have looked at it and said, yeah, the NHL is going to be in the Olympics and we're glad to see him back. So frustrating, uncertain. There's so many words you could use to describe this right now, but it does feel like, and the NHL, as I do this tonight, I don't know when people will watch this, maybe even later, maybe you know more about this later, but the NHL is going hard right now with research and their own doctors to try and figure out how can we do this? How can we also fix their own problem in the league, right? The Sharks are the only team that have gone through COVID this year and didn't postpone or suspend a game. You've seen multiple other teams shut it down. Calgary is the most recent one for 2 days, 3 days, 2 games, 3 games, whatever, depending on how many players. There's a lot of people looking back and saying, well, that was unfair that the Sharks had to play through it. Well, who would have known? The Sharks played some of their best hockey actually during that span. Chelsea's here, and you remember that, right?
Oh yeah, that was the charcuterie
era.
Yes.
Like that
it was good to see some young guys.
Makes me hungry for appetizers, but it also makes me recall, yeah, you're right. Some that was some inspiring hockey that team played, and some of those guys came out of nowhere.
I feel like that was a good point in time for the team because they really proved like they could do it, they could push through it, but at the same time, it kind of felt like we were the test dummy for here's a team with 7+ on protocol. What are we gonna do?
Well, they were lucky because they had the Barracuda in San Jose, right? Their minor league team was not out on the road. And also, I think the Sharks may have wanted to play through it, though, because if you start postponing those games against Eastern teams, how do you go back? Like, how do you replay a game against Montreal? Like, or how do you have the Habs come all the way back out west? Or like those were difficult. That was a difficult portion of the season to recreate. For the basically 4 or 5 games that they played, but minus 7 players and minus your head coach. I don't know that any other team since then. I think some teams have had 10 players.
Yeah, but they had postponed games.
Right, exactly. No team has had it that bad and not missed a single game. So in retrospect, was it the worst thing for the team? No, but I don't know that them going through that was beneficial at all. And I understand the sentiments of people who now look at it and say, what? You're right, test dummies. The Sharks were the first to go through it. So
they didn't know what to do, so it was just like, but I suppose when 7 teams it happens to, they're like,
now
we should maybe do something.
They've set a precedent. They've set a little bit more of a precedent.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to this with my just final thoughts on the Olympics. I think it seems unlikely at this point because of the possibilities of one player testing positive and being positive, and that is going to set off a chain reaction. Then you have to obviously test everybody else, and you can't even put players anymore, I think, in bubble situations for even 3 weeks for this hockey tournament. I think the league and its players and its best players went through this enough last year and even the season before that, where they completed the year, at a couple rinks across North America, Toronto and Edmonton, but they've already gone through enough to make seasons happen. And a couple people in the hockey community have actually said to put those guys in bubbles, even for 3 weeks, it's not mentally fair to them with everything going on in the world. And then to know that potentially, 3 weeks in a bubble and you might spend another 5 weeks here at the end of this if all goes wrong. Frustrating. I understand it's a calculated gamble. I just feel like a lot of people are going to look at this and say, why are we doing this again? And I hope it doesn't get to the point where there's doubt on the NHL continuing its season and having to use, that pause of games in February, having to move it forward, to shut the league down, to get rid. I don't even want to go down that road. But you understand this could get a lot different. Could get better. Could also get worse.
Yeah, I don't want to think about. I had nothing to do when we were locked down. It was boring.
Last year or 2 years ago?
It was so boring.
I look back and I would have done it differently. I mean, I would have relaxed more. I did not relax one bit.
Oh, I'm not surprised,
I was
be honest.
doing this stuff, making videos, doing interviews.
To be honest, you just got done doing a pregame show, intermissions, a postgame show, and now you're doing your own show. Well, so I'm not surprised at all.
Speaking of that, I've gone past the 11 o'clock hour, and I'm going to call it quits. So do you want to have any... I'll play our pre- and post-game theme. I know you can't... Can you hear this? There you go. Yeah. Chelsea can't hear if she doesn't have the headphones on.
That's okay.
You probably hear that in your nightmares, don't you? I also have this one, too. The actual...
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty fancy, right?
Yeah, that's like the whole theme.
That's the whole theme, yeah. So, all right. That's it. I am. You heard that, right? The record scratch? Yeah. All right. I'm officially ending this stream. Petition Chelsea. I like this comment right here. It says, "Who is talking? I just arrived." That's Chelsea, our Sharks pre- and post-game producer. In fact, I don't even know if I truly introduced you or what your job is or...
It's okay. I'm a mysterious human. It's fine.
How you have to puppeteer Brownie and me during the show. You're like, here, guys, I'm controlling everything.
I usually just yell in your ear.
I need
Sometimes
that.
I say things that are entertaining. Hopefully you laugh.
We need some order and some direction around these parts. So I'm going to force Chelsea to do this on camera next time, and we'll chat more about.
We progressed. I'm holding a mic.
Yeah, I had to throw you the mic halfway through. Luckily, it was here. Okay. Look, Felix is already saying Chelsea needs to be a permanent co-host. I think that's host, but I think that's a typo.
Dude, I just need the cred so I can give Brownie crap, to be honest.
Well, you've made an appearance on this before Curtis has. See? Randy's got your back. So...
Oh, heck yeah.
Jessica wants to remind people of the long hair. Do you know that I had really long hair?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I actually saw that. Somebody showed it to me about a week ago, and I didn't even realize it was Brody.
Yeah, it's... I forgot to tweet that I was going live. I just saw the tweet there. Here, let me just... So it would have been January 2021.
Oh, and when I was taking the job too. They sent me a bunch of your pregame, postgames to look at.
You still took the job, huh?
I'm here.
Here's I mean, here, let me show the viewers so they see what I'm gonna. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Look at that.
Oh boy.
Yikes. That's atrocious.
That's
actually.
quarantine hair.
Yeah, that's
quarantine hair.
I had to have hockey hair once in my life. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna just play this all over again because I don't feel right signing off unless I'm playing this music. So you're doing this whenever. Like, we'll pick a night. You're just coming on. In fact, we may not even talk about the game. We're gonna do like your whole personal history. You're gonna sit. Actually, I'm gonna have you sit right in that chair right there so you can really like.
Oh goodness.
What's it called? Interrogation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We'll put that camera right on you.
Like
yeah.
prisoner of war type.
Pretty much. Well.
Yeah. Not
I'm
that
not
bad.
going to lock the door of the conference room, but you'll have a tough time leaving. Let's just say that. So, all right.
Honestly, you can't get rid of me. It's fine.
I don't want to. That fabulous long hair. Long enough. The hair was not long enough to donate, and
Aw.
nobody wanted it either. It was bad luck. It ended up on the floor of my barber in Lafayette.
How
so.
long does hair have to be to donate?
I don't know.
You think you would be able to donate it?
Longer. It's like it had to be about another 4 or 5 inches. So. All right. That's it for the live stream. Thanks for watching. Oh, over here. Thumbs up on this video if you actually liked it. That'll help other people see it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All right. Good night.